If you're up to date on your memes, then you've probably seen these comics online. Looking good, Susan.
Aw, you're sweet.
Looking good, Susan.
Hello, human resources.
And if you haven't seen the original, you've seen the countless comic edits across the World Wide Web. It's been interpreted as everything from a commentary to misogyny. I'm not sure what this has to do with getting a massage, but hey, I just report this stuff. And yet, you probably don't even know the name of the webcomic series it hails from, because the most common meme template crops out the title and the author. For some reason, people will go through an extra step between saving and sharing a meme, where they crop out or even just erase an artist's name. Which, that's just shitty. It's a serious shame because Sunny Street is one of the most consistently funny comics I've read since Gary Larson's Far Side, for internet cartoons or print comics. Well, at least until a drastic drop-off in quality before its inevitable end. But while the series has packed its bags, the impact it left on internet culture is undeniable. And I'm here to tell its story, a tale of cartoonist Max Garcia, various music circles and Star Wars opinions, and one of the mysterious users that started it all, aptly called the Unknown One. Of course I'm out here digging too deep, that's all I do on this channel. And on my Patreon, which I'm in the process of restructuring. Might make my uncensored ad-free videos public, especially for topics that get censored to hell and back to appease the algorithms. But let's not talk shop. Let's take a trip to the street, where it's always sunny. The comic, officially titled Know the Work Rules and unofficially as Hello Human Resources, is actually far older than the meme. New York-based creator, writer, and illustrator Max Garcia originally uploaded it on September 16, 2013 as part of his webcomic series Sunny Street Comics. It's a simple two-panel comic depicting a conventionally attractive male and an unattractive male complimenting their female coworker on her looks, with her reactions being different. The panels are labeled as appropriate and inappropriate workplace behavior. And, like all good art, this can be read in a couple different ways. One interpretation is that Garcia meant it as a criticism of pretty privilege. The idea that being attractive in the traditional sense gives you an innate advantage in life. Like, look at this man, that chiseled jaw, those wide shoulders, that winning smile.
And great hair.
He's a modern-day Dorian Gray. Then look at this schlubby loser. What kind of dork wears glasses? Even though they're saying the same thing, the attractive guy is viewed as positive, while the unattractive guy is viewed as negative. Them's the work rules. Another way to read this comic is more from the woman's perspective, in terms of wanted advances versus unwanted advances. And it can also be seen as a...
Women.
sort of comic. Like, that darned other sex always so judgmental of men. They only care if you're rich and got a six-pack. I've seen all of these interpretations and more in comments around the internet. Usually, we'd be able to look to the creator for what his intended meaning was, like how Casey Green revealed his This Is Fine dog was actually about panicking over prescription drugs. But Max Garcia hasn't spoken up about his comic's meaning or its virality. Not that I could find, at least. However you take the original comic, it would warp to take on a new meaning in the meme-verse.
Do you know the way?
There's no shortage of comparison edits pitting one thing against another, and the Hello Human Resources meme is no exception. It's been used to pit creators against each other, characters, it's been completely redrawn, but its path to infamy was a long one.
And I'll make him infamous!
While the original was uploaded in 2013, it wouldn't really catch on as a meme until January 20th, 2019, well into Sunny Street's run, even if it was past its prime by then. Know Your Meme notes that the comic had been reposted multiple times on Facebook and Reddit and saw limited use in edits, with several notable examples posted on Reddit, like this Our Funny post on May 19th, 2016. The user who posted this comic seems like your average Redditor, but for the purposes of this story, they're ground zero. And with a username like the Unknown One, I couldn't ask for a better starting point. This wasn't the first time Unknown One had shared a comic to Reddit. In fact, they were posting plenty of comics in 2016, sharing comics from Imgur and reposting this Andre Navarro comic. The Unknown One's post was followed a year later on August 5th, 2017, to the subreddit r/justneckbeardthings, a sub devoted to the mockery of fedoras, blades, body pillows, all neckbeard things. The comic's first visit to the sub would earn around 7.6 thousand upvotes, but it didn't really make any waves beyond that. These instances were just vanilla reposts though. It's not like the Unknown One or the Neckbeard poster were responsible for the comic turning into a meme. In fact, Unknown One's original post of the comic was removed from our funny because it was a rehosted comic. That didn't really stop them though. They'd continue posting more and more comics for years after this, but usually unedited. Meanwhile, at this time, Max Garcia had Sunny Street in the middle of a 10-month hiatus that started in April 2017. Things were kinda just drifting along. But just like Lost before it, then came the edits. Know Your Meme is honestly a fantastic resource for researching internet history. Oftentimes they can trace anything back to the most obscure decades-old side blog with like 4 likes or hearts or upvotes. One of the earliest edits of the Know Your Work Rules meme was November 4th, 2017 by Worst Instagram account on, Instagram. And even they admitted that this wasn't the first time they posted it. In this edit, the band Maroon 5 is pitted against Radiohead in what was kind of a bizarre trend for this meme. Some of the earliest adopters of this comic as an exploitable was r/hip-hop circle jerk and other music meme communities online, but they weren't the first. Fast forward to 2018, 5 years after Garcia posted the original comic. Unknown One was still reposting comic strips, like this Dirk Jan comic from Dutch artist Mark Retera. Anyway, by this point, I'm sure Garcia had long forgotten he had even made this comic. Around rolls May the 4th, a date that's come to be a celebration of all things George Lucas from that galaxy far, far away. A play on the iconic Star Wars phrase, "May the Force be with you."
The Force will be with you, always.
The 4th of May has become a day for yearly memes about Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, and all those space wizards out in wizard space. And Redditor Bradley Haran was ready to add his own contribution, posting this edit the following day lampooning Finn from the sequel trilogy. I mean, he's an easy target, for a number of reasons. But that didn't even crack 300 upvotes. I mean, it's more impressive than Unknown One's 45 upvotes, but hardly what I'd call viral. And even though it was submitted to Shitpostbot 5000 less than a month later to be auto-distributed, these initial reposts and edits just weren't catching on. That is, until it revisited Just Neckbeard Things.
M'lady.
On January 20th, 2019, Redditor Frickdragon posted the unedited comic to Just Neckbeard Things, where it gained over 520 upvotes in 6 months. Again, these aren't very big numbers, but you never know who's lurking in your comments or upvotes. Because when Redditor FIFO came across the post, he made a decision that would rocket Garcia's comic to legendary meme status. Enjoyer of the Asterix comics and member of Bonehurting Juice, FIFO posted his edit and amassed over 26,000 upvotes.
Now we're talking.
It quickly became a favorite among the Bonehurting Juicers, including Tober, Sir Hapstance, and Pirate Creed.
Code is the law.
There was no going back. The comic spread like wildfire, and particularly in music circles, where the male coworker asked the female coworker about her music preferences. Oddly specific, but I suppose it speaks to the flexibility of the meme.
Flexible.
And it continued to appear as a staple of meme culture and comic edits for years and years after this initial explosion. But the journey of the Know Your Work Rules comic isn't the full story. It's more like the middle to end. Because like I said earlier, it was part of a series. Sunny Street Comics, a run of humor strips that are some of the funniest comics I've come across online. When Max Garcia started Sunny Street Comics, the gags honestly rivaled Gary Larson's The Far Side, and I don't say that lightly. Ask 100 comedy comic writers what other works inspired them, and you'll probably have 98 of them say The Far Side. Its surrealistic humor is often based on uncomfortable social situations, improbable events, an anthropomorphic view of the world, logical fallacies, impending bizarre disasters, often twisted references to proverbs, or the search for the meaning in life. And that same description could just as easily be used for Sunny Street Comics. At least the early ones. Yeah, Garcia's Sunny Street comics suffered the same fate as The Simpsons. In the beginning, it was gold, hilarious, extremely witty, but over time, as it kept running and running, it dropped off in quality. Hard. And not just quality, but in posting too. When it started on Go Comics in 2013, Garcia was tossing out a brand new comic every single weekday. Then he scaled it back to 3 a week due to other projects, then 2 with no warning, and soon readers were lucky to get 1 comic a month or a handful a year. Add to that a drop in quality and a weird fixation of hating on the Star Wars sequel trilogy, and yeah, while the series stopped getting updates in February 2023, many considered it long dead before this. But because of this one comic that rocketed into memedom, it's given the series a second life, one stitched into the very fabric of internet culture. Even as I was researching this video, I was seeing it pop up on my personal feeds. So while Garcia Street might not be so sunny anymore, we still see a bit of light every now and then.